And we are at the Montage with Ralph Bowen. Ralph, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
Longtime fan of yours music, especially your most recent release on Positone Records, Standard Deviation.
Oh, thank you so much. Fantastic.
I enjoy your writing, I enjoy your playing, but for you creating music like that, especially on the writing side, what's that like? Do you hear harmony first? Do you hear the melody? Or how does it come to you when you create?
Oh, wow. You know, it kind of depends. It's kind of like putting down the first piece and then other things fall into place. But I guess I really do have a passion for harmony, so I really try to find interesting harmonies and so forth. But sometimes it's the bass, sometimes it's the rhythm, or you know, and then things kind of flow from there.
We're speaking to Ralph Bowen here on Jazz 90.1. So for you, where do you find the inspiration from? Is it from family? Is it just nature? Where do you find the inspiration to write and compose?
That's a hard question. It really is. But I get inspiration, I guess, from a lot of different things. You know, family for sure. You know, having a good, or being in a good place is definitely really important. You know, and you know, being able to just spend time doing what you love, and with no limitations on your time and so forth.
Sure.
You know?
Speaking to Ralph Bowen. Ralph, tell me what it was like growing up in Guelph, Ontario. I love that. When I drive through, it's just so
you know
scenic.
the area.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, so I grew up on a farm. My grandparents were farmers, and my dad farmed part-time, and it was kind of like being on at camp. Looking back on it, I didn't realize it at the time, but it's kind of like being at camp all the time, and it was really great. I could practice any time of the day, and I'm really glad I had that kind of experience growing up.
So growing up in Guelph, what were some of the artists, Canadian artists that you may have listened to growing up who may have inspired you or influenced you?
Well, for sure. The Boss Brass. I studied for many years, about 8 years, with Pat LaBarbera, and Phil Nimmons was a big influence on me. And so, yeah, there's such a great scene and such a long lineage of great musicians that come out of Toronto.
What's Phil Nimmons like? Because I've heard so much about him, I really don't know his music very well. But I've heard he's influenced a lot of folks.
Yeah. Oh, his orchestrations are just fantastic. And I met him when I was in my early teens, and he's one of my very first mentors, and he's been there as a mentor ever since. You know, I attended his big band camp, and then I went out west to the Banff School of Fine Arts when he was on faculty there, and so yeah, he played a big role in my teenage and
formative years.
As a jazzier, yeah.
Yeah. We're speaking to Ralph Bowen here on Jazz 90.1. So, Ralph, who are you listening to these days?
These days, you know, it's very interesting. I can't get in the car with I have a teenage daughter, and before that, my teenage son, and they're spaced apart about 12 years.
Okay.
So I can't get in the car without listening to a lot of really interesting pop music. I love it. And so that's actually, funny as it may seem, a big influence. But aside from that, you know, I listen to a lot of different things. I love classical guitar. I listen to quite a variety of different classical guitar and different orchestral music. And then I can't help but go back and listen to everything that influenced me when I was growing up. You know, I'm in heaven when I put on a John Coltrane record, and that is still a solid rock for me.
We're speaking to Ralph Bowen here on Jazz 90.1, playing with Jay Sennett's 0 to 60 band tonight. Ralph, again, thank you so much for taking jazz further with your artistry.
Thank you so much.